Hello, our beloved viewers. Welcome to the 9 p.m. English News Edition brought to you live from RTD channel. And first, let's have a look at the top stories for tonight. And concerning the celebration of the International Work Day, UGTD and UDT celebrate Labor Day. And on the international scene, a third day of ICJ hearings on Israel's legal obligation concerning Gaza situation. Those were the top stories, and welcome to our newsroom. Let's begin with the International Working Day celebration. The General Union of Egyptian Workers has organized today a commemorative ceremony in front of its headquarters in the presence of its General Secretary, Mr. Said Younis Waberi, as well as union representative and many workers. The event was an opportunity to reaffirm the participant commitment to a decent work. The day was marked by a strong message calling for justice, equity, and dignity in the world of work. May the 1st, 2025 represents a new stage in trade union mobilization. And on the occasion, in his speech, the Secretary General of the UGTD stressed the importance of celebrating the International Labor Day. And among, he said, the notable announcement, the increase in minimum pension and the modernization of the labor code. The objective, he say, to adapt the legal framework to current economic realities while strengthening working rights. The Secretary General of the UGTD also welcomed the monthly payment pension measure already in place, which aimed to guarantee greater financial security for retirees. This speech was intended both to recognize the effort made and to provide a roadmap for decent and sustainable work as well. Djibouti Labor Union also celebrate today the International Labor Day. The Djibouti Labor Union celebrated also the International Labor Day at the Emily Hotel under the chairmanship of Mohamed Yusuf, president of the UDT, in the presence of many workers, trade and unionists and guests, and under the theme a constructive social dialogue, a factor in promoting a decent work and social progress. The day was marked by festivities and songs aimed at promoting the national works. In his statement, the Ministry of Health announced that this ministry has launched a major inspection and monitoring campaign for pharmaceutical establishments to ensure their compliance with current standards. The Ministry of Health, Public Health Services have strengthened their oversight of local pharmacies. Pharmacies play a very important role in the country's health policy. They are often used to combat disease and are therefore beneficial to the health of the population. However, if these medications are not regulated and standardized, they can be harmful to health. That's why we have a monitoring and supervision unit within the Ministry of Health, which ensures the strict implementation of Law Number 145 of February 1991, which sets the conditions for a pharmaceutical practice in Djibouti. And after conducting several monitoring and inspection of this pharmacies and private pharmacies, we have observed numerous violations. I would like to remind all pharmacies and pharmacies owner in the country of the need to strictly adhere to law number 145 of February 1991. And this law sets out all the operating conditions of pharmacies. And above all, it regulates the marketing of medicines and the use of more pharmacies in the Republic of Djibouti. The Ministry of Health wants every pharmacy to have a good hygiene conditions. And in his statement, the Minister of Health, stressed that the government fully assumes its responsibility to eliminate risks and restore unshakable confidence in our health system. Teams from the General Inspectorate of Health Services, he said, will continue to carry out inspection of pharmacies in Djibouti and the interior regions as well. We have, said the Minister of the Health, in recent years, or more recently on social media, particularly on TikTok, that a certain number of individuals are advertising a frontline product for a number of skin or edible products. However, these products are not without problems. Some of these products, certain medicines, the Minister of Health warns the public to exercise extreme caution and not to use any product not licensed by the Ministry of Health. And now this statement from the Interior Ministry, as part of the program for the volunteer return of people in an irregular situation in the Republic of Djibouti. The Ministry of the Interior is calling on employers to pay these people their wages and other entitlement as quickly as possible. The ministry also denies report of the regularization of illegal immigrants. And still on the national news, in Djibouti, the International Symposium on Coordination between Audit Bodies in the French-speaking sub-Saharan region came to a close on Wednesday at the Isla Grand Hotel. The event, organized by the Court and the General Inspection of the State in partnership with the ID, highlighted the importance of improved cooperation between audit institutions to ensure more transparent and effective governance. Participants from several African countries and partner organizations such as the ID, the African Union, IGAD, and AfroZai praised Djibouti's example in this area. At the heart of the debate, how to improve this coordination to guarantee rigorous and transparent management of public resources. The conference provided a platform for exchanges between the partner institutions with the aim of defining prospects. And the Inspector General of the State said in his intervention that this workshop was organized in close collaboration with the Court of Auditors, the General Inspectorate of the State, and the Independent Human Rights Commission. We believe, he said, this is a very interesting topic for improving cooperation between our two institutions, requiring us to pool our synergies to improve oversight of public fund. And in turn, the President of the Court of Auditors stressed on the importance of this event, the international conference. She said aims to identify synergies and initiate prospects for cooperation and coordination between bodies, organizations, and public finance oversight institutions working in the same field. The regional workshop, she said, is part of a collaborative effort and exchange of expertise between the relevant stakeholders. It is worth noting that the vertical cooperation link is proving to be very beneficial in enhancing the impact of our institution and oversight body. Another news, in Djibouti, the Yemeni school celebrated at the end of the 2024-2025 academic year at a moving ceremony at the People's Palace in honor of its 34th promotion named Spirit of Excellence under the patronage of the Ambassador of Yemen, Mr. Abdullah bin Musallam Al Sukari. The ceremony was attended by a large number of personalities, including Arab ambassadors and representatives from the world education. 70 final year students were honored in a warm and a festive atmosphere. The ceremony was marked by artistic performances, speeches, and a moment of solidarity with Palestine. The school headmaster Abdul Rakim Mohammed Ali Al Dubai praised the work done and the success of the student, saying that this year's class embodies excellence and the future. The event was supported by several partners, including CAC International Bank, the Abu Ahmed Group, and Swaba Africa Bank as well. For his part, the chairman of the founding board, Haja Abdurrahman Ahmed Taha, gave a moving speech in which he retraced the history of the school and its progress since its foundation in 1991. The chairman of the founding board recalled that according to the leaders of the Islamic school, education is today considered to be the essential path to success and progress. They believe that no nation, no claim a prosperous future without the support of science and knowledge. Since the accession of President Ismail Omar Guelleh, education has been placed at the heart of human and national development. With this in mind, he said that the Islamic school has affirmed its commitment to training a responsible generation capable of actively contributing to the development of society. And for his part, the Yemeni ambassador Abdullah bin Musallam Al Sukatri expressed his pride and admiration for the pioneer educational role played by the Yemeni school in Djibouti, praising the entire teaching and administrative team as well as the student whom he described as a model of discipline, perseverance and excellence. The Yemeni ambassador today welcomed the graduation of a new class of students, stressing that it marked the culmination of a year marked by the effort, perseverance and commitment of all those involved in education. He did not fail to stress that this collective success could not have been achieved without the joint involvement of parents, teachers and students as well. And it was an emotional moment at the Yemeni school in Djibouti with the presentation of awards to the final year pupils. The ceremony held under the banner of excellence honored the student of the Spirit of Excellence class. The tenderest applause from the audience. The winners were presented with their certificate and symbolic gifts in an atmosphere that was both solemn and emotional. Tears of joy, proud looks from the parents. Everyone appreciated the importance of this step, marking the passage to a promising future. The moment was immortalized by a photo session, etching the day forever in the memory of the school and its pupils, graduates. And still on the national news, on the morning of 3 April 2025, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Djibouti's chief of the General Staff of the Army Forces, visited the firing range in the Korwang region near the capital. The visit was a part of a joint military exercise between the Djiboutian Army and the logistics support base of the Chinese People's Liberation Army station in Djibouti. On his arrival, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was warmly welcomed by senior officers from both armies, including the commander of the Chinese base, a picket of honor made up of Djiboutian and Chinese military personnel as well saluted his presence, symbolizing the close cooperation between the two nations. The chief of the defense staff then proceeded to the observatory set up for the occasion, offering an abstracted view of the exercise area. He was briefed in detail on the objective of the exercise, the forces involved, and the specific scenario that will be implemented. The presentation provided a better understanding of the nature of the planned maneuvers and the importance of this bilateral cooperation in strengthening military capabilities of both armies. General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim then followed the exercise closely, observing the tactical interactions between the Djibouti's and Chinese forces as well. The aim of this high precision training was to improve the effectiveness of joint operations while strengthening the strategic defense ties between the two countries, Djibouti and China. The military exercise, which took place on last 3 April 2025, was designed around a complex tactical scenario simulating an offensive operation in a semi-desert environment. The main aim of this maneuver was to test the ability of the forces involved to carry out coordinate action, in particular a joint cooperation, and to validate the engagement procedures under a real combat condition. The action was triggered by heavy artillery fire aimed at neutralizing the first simulated enemy lines of defense. This initial phase paved the way for the intervention of the armored unit, which quickly gained the upper hand, leading an impressive breakthrough the fractures enemy lines. Supported by continuous indirect fire, this unit kept up the pressure of the enemy while ensuring a rapid advance. The entire exercise was conducted in strict compliance with security regulation under the watchful eye of General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Army Forces. This exemplary cooperation between Djibouti and China forces highlighted the effectiveness and complementarity of the two armies, strengthening their ability to operate together in complex combat conditions.
askari gala arligaynu leenahay hebka ugu dhaartoon ogada xilsaaray
In a coordinated effort to combat the rise in caravan thefts, Brigade 345 of the National Gendarmerie has arrested an individual of being responsible for several burglaries. The arrest followed a number of complaints from victims who described a similar operand during the night. The window of their vehicles were smashed and touch screens stolen. Faced with a growing number of complaints, all the brigades of the Djibouti company mobilized to quickly identify the suspect. Thanks to effective teamwork, Brigade 345 succeeded in locating and arresting the individual whose action had become a source of concern for the entire population. And it should be noted that the suspect had already been convicted of similar offenses in the past. Following the investigation, he was brought before the court to answer for his action. The National Gendarmerie reaffirmed its commitment to public safety and the fight against crime. And now moving on to the international scene, as I said at the top stories, third day of the ICJ hearings on Israel's legal obligation. The United Nations highest court is holding hearings on Israel's legal duty as Gaza humanitarian aid system face a problem. With the humanitarian system in Gaza on the brink of total collapse, the International Court of Justice on Monday began a week-long series of hearings to examine Israel's legal responsibilities for facilitating humanitarian aid to Palestine in the occupied territories. In Brazil now, the country calls for strengthening cooperation among southern countries. The foreign ministries of the BRICS bloc meet in Rio de Janeiro for the second and final day of meetings. This was the first unified gathering with the representative of the 11 current member states and the new partners admitted in 2024. The Brazilian minister, who serves as the group rotating chair, called for strengthening cooperation among certain countries. The bloc now includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and United Arab Emirates as well. So that's it for the news. Thanks for being with us and stay tuned for more program on RTD channel.